Hey guys, it's good to see you again. I hope you're all having a good summer so far. It's nice that we can finally be outside and enjoying all this nice warm weather. Things are starting to open up again, so that's cool. Guys are probably done with school now, I think, but I think it shouldn't be too long from now before we can all actually get back together in church and see each other again and do this the old way. So today we're going to learn about another emotion. Today is going to be the emotion of depression, actually. It's a really tough one, and it's one that a lot of people deal with, more than you might think. You know, kids, teens, adults. So today we're going to learn how to deal with that and what it is and some more about it. So let's check in with our old friends LOL and Coach Serious Lee. See you in a bit.
Oh, hey, you could not have come at a worse time. I lost something and I can't find it anywhere. Wait, maybe you can help. It's a little green bag with a zipper. Do you see it anywhere? It may not seem important, but that bag had all the entry fee money for the competition. Without it, I can't get in. I know. I'll text I know. Hold on a second. I never realized that. I know. I know, right? I know, right? Let me text her. Okay, while she's looking, I better not let Coach Seriously find out about this. She gets worked up pretty easy. I'm gonna have to do some top-notch acting. Let me send a selfie to I know to see if it's convincing. Oh no. Okay. There she is. I can do this.
Hey Coach, what's wrong with you? You look like you lost all the money for the texting competition.
How did you?
Look kid, you're a great texter, but you're not that good of an actor.
Excuse me, I won the best performance for our third grade play.
Who else got the trophy?
Everyone.
Right. Look, we have to find that money.
I know. I know is looking all around her house and I've been searching my room all day.
Well, when I lose something, I like to go back and trace my steps. So let's trace your steps. Start from the beginning and tell me everything that happened.
Okay, it was a brisk fall morning when my father bellowed, "It's a girl!" And so, I was born. And I immediately filled my diaper with...
Whoa, I'm gonna stop you right there. That is too far back. And stop trying to earn the trophy. Just tell me what happened today.
Right, well Oh, there's Ina.
Look, it's not going to do us any good getting depressed about all this. After what you told me last week, I went back and read in the Bible about David and this battle that he was going to have to fight. Conditions were bad, but David found his strength in the Lord. So think hard. Tell me about your day.
Okay, I got up, got ready, went to school. No, wait. First I had to clean up all the leaves from the last time you were here. Then I went to school. Just a normal day.
Maybe you took it out to the leaves.
Seriously?
What?
I never noticed that either. And no, I didn't take it outside. Why would I take a green bag with a zipper out with the leaves?
Hold it. Did you say green zipper bag?
Yeah, why?
Was it a lime green bag? Maybe plastic, kinda like latex? Maybe even polycarbonate? About 4x6 with glitter all over it? And a zipper?
Yeah. Wait, how did you?
How
did you get that?
I found it outside your door. I was gonna ask you about it, and then I realized you were upset and I totally forgot.
Yes! Thanks, Coach.
How about a finder's fee?
How about a banana?
Ah!
So, we've been learning so much from David, about David, right? As he's been on the run from King Saul. You remember that guy? One thing we know about David, though, is that he was a strong warrior. He was such a great warrior and a leader for God that many other men decided that they would follow him. They became an amazing army, and they defeated many enemies. They traveled all over. But David settled in a place called Ziklag. It's a pretty weird sounding town, huh? Ziklag. But that was the name of the city that David, his wife, and his children, and all of his possessions were. They were all there in Ziklag. And so were the wives, children, and possessions of everybody that was following David, everybody in the army. And one day, while David and his men were on a mission, the Amalekites, that's the enemies of Israel, sneaked in and they attacked the city of Ziklag. And they took all of David and his men's families and children and their stuff. And then to top it all off, they burned the whole town to the ground. It's just a pile of ashes, right? So they took all the women and the children and their possessions back with them to their home country. So, as David and his men arrived back from their mission, they saw the fire and the smoke rising in the distance, and suddenly they had realized what had happened. Everything was gone. Their wives were gone, their families were gone, their belongings were gone. They had been wiped out, destroyed. There's nothing left. And so these great, strong, brave men, these mighty warriors, began to cry and weep. They were overwhelmed with depression, and that's the emotion we're learning about today. The depression was so strong that it overwhelmed them. When they stopped crying, they looked at David. They were so upset because everything they had was gone because of David. They blamed David for what had happened. And David began to pray and worship God. The Bible says, David found strength in the Lord, his God. He received strength to handle the very situation he found himself in. So, after worshiping, David heard a word from God. God told David to pursue the enemy, for you shall conquer them and recover all they have taken from you. And that's exactly what happened. David pursued the Amalekites. He found their camp and defeated them. He destroyed every member of the Amalekite army. The Bible says David and his men recovered all of their possessions and their families. Not a single person was hurt, and not a single possession was missing. They got it all. They recovered it all. He really did receive strength from God to overcome his depression. And in your lesson today, you'll learn how to do the same. Stay tuned. So, depression, right? That's what we're learning about today. It's a very serious thing. Have you ever known someone that was depressed? I mean, a lot of times people don't really like to mention it. I guess that's part of depression. But maybe you have felt depressed. What is depression? It's a feeling of sadness that is so strong and so overwhelming that it just doesn't seem to be able to go away, right? So here's what I mean. Have you ever felt like, have you ever been just going along in life and everything was going great, right? You're having a great time. Your friends all like you. Your grades are really good, and you just got a huge raise in your allowance. But then somehow something happened, right? Maybe it was something bad like David faced when he lost it all at Ziklag, right? Whatever it was, it caused you to no longer be full of life. You just didn't quite feel happy anymore, right? Instead, you started to feel sad and deflated, and not your same usual happy self, right? You felt like all the air had just been knocked out of your life, like a deflating balloon. But you might have tried to get back up and make yourself just get over it, you know? Maybe pump some air into that balloon. But it didn't work, you know? It doesn't always work. No matter what you thought or what you did, you just couldn't shake the depression. It's a scary feeling, and it's a feeling that lots of people have to deal with. Many kids, teens, adults. And sometimes when people are dealing with depression, they start to question everything. You know, they wonder, did I do something to deserve this? You know, is it my fault that I feel this way? Is God even there? If he is, then why do I feel this depression? When depression hits, it's easy to forget that bad things happen to good people, you know. David understood this. Even though all of his men were blaming him, David knew that he had been doing the right things. He was living for God. He was being obedient, but all this bad stuff happened to him anyway. It wasn't his fault. Kids, sometimes even those of us who are serving God, have bad things happen, you know. That's just life. Things happen that are out of our control. But we can't blame ourselves and assume it all happened just because we're bad people, you know. Things happen, you know. If your parents got a divorce, it's not your fault. It's not your fault if your aunt got cancer. It's not your fault that your friend may have said bad things about you behind your back. Don't blame yourself. It's a fact of life. Just bad things happen to good people sometimes. David understood this, and that's when he did something awesome. Our power verse today tells us that what he did, it says, David found strength in the Lord his God. What does that mean? It means that David didn't give in to depression, and we can't either. I promise you will probably feel like giving in and having a pity party. Just don't do it. When you feel like everything is going wrong, don't give in to depression. Remind yourself how awesome God is, how amazing his love is, and how much he cares about you. That's what it means to find strength in the Lord your God. That's what David did. Not only that, but David did something else we must do when we feel like we've lost it all and we are at our lowest, most depressing point. We need to find strength in God. He will bring the victory. David was a songwriter, actually. He wrote most of the book of Psalms in the Bible. No doubt he wrote an amazing worship song to God at this moment, especially. You know, you see, worship isn't something we do only at church. It's not something we should do only when things are going really well either. We should worship God when our parents are getting divorced. We should worship God when everyone has turned against us. You know, we should worship God when we've lost it all. You know, it's not just something we should do at the best of times. We should worship God no matter what, because he's worthy all the time. And when you worship, you find strength in the Lord your God, just like David was saying. And do you know what happens after that? Well, what happened after David worshiped? David pursued the Amalekites. He found their camp, and he defeated them. He got all their stuff back, and they won a pretty big victory that day. The Bible said he recovered all their possessions, families. Not a single person was hurt, not a single possession was missing, and he recovered all of it. The devil may have stolen a lot of things from you. He may have stolen your family, your happiness, your friends, your health. You may feel completely depressed and like you've lost it all, just like David. Well, if you will lift your eyes to heaven and worship, God will bring the victory, and you will recover all the devil has stolen from you, including the joy of the Lord. So hey guys, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and just know that if you're ever feeling down or depressed or anything like that, you know, there's plenty of people that you can turn to, you know, whether it's your parents, your friends, people from church, you know, everyone's here for you. So never feel like you don't have anybody, because you have somebody. But I hope you all have a great summer. We all miss you. But yeah, I'll see you guys this Sunday. Have a good one.